Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends. Hello. And welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and then examine the stories and the art. And this time I want to take a little look at this book here. This is Swamp Thing number 12 from 1974, written by Wein and drawn by Nestor Redondo. This is very early in the Swamp Thing mythos, and at this point it's still primarily the mind of Alec Holland inside the body of a muck monster known as Swamp Thing, with superhuman strength, but he's still just an individual. This is before the days of the green and being a nature elemental and the like. So it's basically the Swamp Thing that we know from the movies in the 80s, and probably the animated series, which I don't think I ever saw the animated series before, but I had heard the theme song before. Which is kind of obvious, Swamp Thing, Wild Thing, with that theme. And I kind of like it. I really like the artwork in this issue. Okay, of course, Swamp Thing had been created by Len Wein and Bernie Wrightson, and made the first appearance in an issue of House of Secrets, and got such a good response. They brought him out of those pages, altered his origin a bit, and plopped him down into the mainstream DC universe. And he was still primarily a horror character, but it was more of a horror adventure type thing, I guess. I haven't read a whole lot of these early Swamp Things, and I mentioned the Swamp Thing movies. Yeah, those very low budget Wes Craven movies from the 80s. I happen to like really like them. The first Swamp Thing movie had that horrible rubber suit and just looked terrible, but the movie did surprisingly well for an extremely low budget movie at the time, and it was relatively well written and performed. But I lived in Charleston, South Carolina. I was in the Navy at the time when the movie was made there in Charleston. Although the story takes place in the swamps of Louisiana, they shot it at Magnolia Gardens, just outside Charleston. A beautiful place there. I did make one outing to Magnolia Gardens while I lived there. and it was lovely in that swampy magnolia and mangrove swamps. But I would hate to be lost there. Okay, swampy. Okay, said written by Wein, art by Nestor Redondo. And Nestor Redondo is from 1928 to 1995. He's a Filipino artist known for his work for DC and Marvel Comics and some other American publishers in the 70s and 80s. And he is known in the Philippines primarily as co-creator of the superhero heroine Darna. And I know nothing about that. And he began his career in the Philippines drawing serials written by his brother Virgilio and doing some biblical stories. The latter was published by his own company, where he launched a training program for young writers and artists. And I think that's significant. And I think that's where we got so many great Filipino artists from in the 1970s. In the early 70s, he broke into the American market in House of Mystery at DC. And through the 70s, he did a lot of work for the mystery titles. He did beautiful work on especially the birds, the exotic birds in the jungle scenes. Magnificent. In the Rima, the Bird Girl, for DC, they did 7 issues of that title. And in the Bible, in the which I covered here, the DC tabloid-sized version of the Bible, which I covered, had some magnificent artwork in that. But he often, over the years, worked with his brother, Frank Redondo. Okay, now I wanted to talk a little bit about this cover, because this is some beautiful artwork here in this cover. I look at it closely. It has some beautiful, almost delicate line work here in both the figure and the bizarro dinosaur here. And it's funny because this depicts an event from inside the book, and yet it's a different kind of dinosaur. Of course, this is actually a fictitious kind of dinosaur. But the beautiful line work. And then take a look at the coloring. Now, I don't know who did the coloring here. Maybe it was Nestor himself or someone else. I don't know. But considering the technology, the print technology that they were using at the time, this is some really nice coloring work. Notice the gradation here in this orange sky in the background, and then you have the reflected light on the dinosaur figure here and here, which echoes the slightly orange pinkish of the interior of the mouth, and then the darker olive green in the dinosaur's skin, which is then reflected here in the coloring of Swampy himself, but with the highlights, the lighter greens here. It is just a beautiful coloring job on this cover. I really, really like that. Okay. Okay, now I want to take a look inside the pages here. I'll talk a little bit about the story. It's a well-written story by Wein. And I want to try to do an abbreviated look. yeah. Here, of course, Swamp Thing splash page, and here we get again. You can really see the lovely, lovely work and the line work and the beautiful figure, and even the beautiful beauty of the slavering T-Rex. Supposed to be a T-Rex here. Now, this is in the Eternity Man, and this is a he's right in the middle of the plot of the story, carried over from the previous issue. There's something that he has suddenly been transported back in time to the age of dinosaurs, and he doesn't know why. And have the creepy caption panels here, and creepy looking thought balloons, because he can't speak very well, and so he has to fight this dinosaur, and he's like, what the heck is going on here? But he manages to save himself from becoming lunch with this stick, which of course is reflected in the front. Beautiful work on this dino, even though it's a drastically inaccurate version, especially from today's science. But it's probably pretty close for what they thought at the time. But then, right at this moment, when he's about to fall prey, and here comes a man jumping on this dino, and then Swampy is surprised because, well, this is, of course, the timeline is still off. But he says, "Oh, this is supposed to be like a million years or so before men appear. Actually, it's 65 million years before humans appear." But that's it. He doesn't know where this caveman guy came from. What's going on? And in the fight, the guy winds up being killed by his own spear, and then Swampy sees this gem. It's a gem with a star on it, with a 7-point star on it. This is what has transported him back through time, because he saw it before, and he knows this guy has a star in his eyes. And we have an interlude. There are 4 interludes. We're going to forget all about those. I've done to it. Then he appears in, he doesn't know where, some people. He's indoors and instantly attacked. They set lions on him, and he smashes through the gates, and some beautiful, it's, again, the horrific type imagery, but the beautiful work. Beautiful, and great visual storytelling. Smashes through the gates, and then we see he is in the Colosseum, in the gladiatorial games in the Colosseum. And again, this guy is killed. There seems to be, and he has the star in his eyes. But he didn't see that right after the guy dies, he gets up and walks away. After Swampy has disappeared. Traveling through time again to some medieval period, and of course see him. People spot him. They think he's a monster. It's during the Black Death. Again, more. See the here the backgrounds, the village. Beautiful work. Again, great visual storytelling. And then we get to see, well, here's this guy with the stars in his eyes, and has the gemstone, and Swampy overhears what's going on. Something about this guy acquires immortality with this stone, and utilizing the magic of this witch, and he keeps seeing Swampy face in this gemstone. Then the villagers who are after Swampy breaks in and sets the place afire. Swampy saves the lady, but can't save the guy with the gems in his eyes. Then he's in the swamp. Oh, good, I'm home. Then he discovers that, well, the swamp's right. The time period is wrong. It's during the American Civil War. And again, it's the guy with that meteorite, with the gemstone, and Rebel Patrol is out to get the Union soldier, and there's a battle. Battle ensues, and he's killed again, even if it's just momentarily. And Swampy has another jump in time. Finally, we see, because of the jet, he's back in his own swamp in his own time, and here comes the guy again. This time he talks to him, says, you have to kill me. Every time I die, I start over again, and I'm appearing with you, I do the same thing over and over and over and over. And it has to be you to kill me. I cannot die. So he begs Swampy to kill him and says, I cannot kill. And Swampy can't kill. And he turns around to take off, leaving the fellow, but he chases after him and steps into the quicksand in the bog. And Swampy tries to save him, but he goes under before Swampy can save him, and then he can't find him. He can't find him under there. So, oh my gosh, he's all starting all over again. And there is the gem, which started the whole thing in the first place. So he just kind of covers it up, says, I think that guy's going to need this gem again. and that's the end of the story. And says, the Leviathan Conspiracy. And then, of course, Swamp Things. And that was just an abbreviated look. Now, I enjoyed this story. I think it's well written. That same storyline would probably be done over several issues today. I like it more about this pace, because it doesn't really deserve a slower pace, but they would probably stretch that into 3 or 4 issues today. So that's what I've got of Swampy. Swamp Thing number 12, 1974, Nestor, Redondo, and Wein. I think they did a good job. I just can't rave about the artwork enough, though. And please like, share, subscribe. Oh, and that reminds me, I keep forgetting to mention, I just recently went over 500 subscribers, and I want to thank you all out there for subscribing to my channel, and ask the others who might be watching this who have not yet subscribed, please do so. And I just went over 500 subscribers. And leave a comment. Do you like Swamp Thing? What period of the Swamp Thing do you like? Do you like the more current stuff? Do you like the older stuff? Did you see the Swamp Thing movies? Because the first movie had the cheapo rubber suit, but the second movie wasn't as well written and was more tongue-in-cheek, but had the superior production quality, and especially the superior suit that looked swampish. And or how about that really crappy HBO live-action TV series? Oh, that really sucked. But I liked the newer TV series from just a few years ago. I liked that one. So let me know what you think of this issue. What period, what version of Swamp Thing do you like, and about the movies. Let me just tell me anything like that. I appreciate it. So that's all I've got for Swamp Thing. And remember, comics are art.